Hello, everyone, and welcome to MeowMix, a Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
All right, it's time to get into the game preview. Brought to you by Manscaped. Everybody check out manscaped.com for all of your below-the-belly-button grooming. Manscaped.com, promo code MeowMixPodcast. You get 20% off of your entire order and free shipping. Check it out. All right. Carolina Panthers, Kansas City Chiefs. Big game for the Panthers. We're going to kick it off, as we always do, with the injury report. We'll start with the Chiefs. Start with the DNPs. Michael Schwartz, tackle. Frank Clark, defensive end. Both of them did not practice. Limited practice is Sammy Watkins with a hamstring injury. And the rest of these guys are full practice. Taco Charlton, Eric Fisher, Chris Jones, Derek Nadal, Austin Relter, and Kalen Saunders. Would expect all of those guys to play. Moving to the Panthers, the only DNP this week is Jeremy Chin. Apparently a knee issue that cropped up in the last game. Think he'll probably play.
I would assume so. Again, he flies around so much. My assumption would be they're trying to let it heal naturally, just kind of rest him as much as possible. I mean, he's had 10 days off and may need a few more.
Yeah, almost feels like a veteran day off for him. Even though he's not a veteran, but it almost feels like that. These next few are limited practice. Corn Elder, Zach Kerr, Russell Okung, all sort of cogs in the defense, except for Okung. Okung is limited practice, but you never know with him. You know? So, no idea.
That's what happened when you're, he's younger than me, but when you're old playing that game.
His body is definitely older than you.
Yes.
Teddy Bridgewater showed up on the injury report today. Full participant practice, but a neck, from that illegal dirty hit last week against the Falcons. And then Dante Jackson, probably going to be on the injury report every week, but was a full participant practice, and, he'll play. So that's the injury reports. Nothing too crazy there. McCaffrey not on the injury report, which is nice. Although I don't know if he's actually been activated yet. So
I don't know. I've read some reports that he is looking really good, that he has not skipped any gym days at all since he's
looking
been off.
spry out there.
Well, Kansas City, like you said, is averaging 31.6 points per game, second in the league. They average 124 on the ground, 286 through the air. I mean, everybody knows Patrick Mahomes. He's a beast. He is probably the best quarterback in the league right now. Their defense is good this year, too. Mm-hmm. They are third in scoring defense, only allowing 19 points per game. For the over-under 52.5, I think that's actually a compliment to Carolina, because I think they're going to go over their average points per games. And they mostly give it up on the ground. They give up 142 yards per game on the ground, but they do have the third-ranked pass defense in the league, giving up 201 yards per game. Now, Carolina, they've been struggling. They're giving up 24 points per game and only averaging 22 points per game. They're middle of the road right now offensively. They need to click it in high gear with McCaffrey and see what goes. I think you have to run the ball. I think you have to run it with McCaffrey over and over again, slow it down. I think you get I knock Phil Snow's defense, but I think this is the team you have to run that Phil Snow defense of not letting them go over the top, let them dip and dunk underneath you. You try to bend and not break, force them into three, and you got to run McCaffrey, run the clock, take possessions away from Patrick Mahomes in that high-powered offense.
Yeah, and it's all well and good to say run the ball. And normally I would agree with you. Carolina's going to have to score points in this game. Kansas City is going to score points in this game. You said it, 31.6 points, second in the league. Carolina, 13th in the league in defense, which isn't bad. It's better than average. But they haven't played anybody like Kansas City on offense yet. They got weapons all over the field. They've added Le'Veon Bell to this offense, and he had as many rushes as Clyde Edwards-Helaire did last week. I would expect that to continue. I think he's going to play a pretty large part in this offense. You can't say enough about the Kansas City receivers.
No.
Travis Kelce, the best tight end in the league, easily, especially now with Kittle out. And Tyreek Hill, top 3 receiver probably in the league.
I mean,
at his best, he's as good as anybody.
He's just a weapon. I mean, we talk about Curtis Samuel. I mean, Tyreek Hill is that on steroids.
Tyreek Hill is what Curtis Samuel wishes he was
on his best day.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. And then they've got McCole Hardman. They've got Sammy Watkins. They've got a couple of other receivers there who can at any point break it for a long one.
Oh, yeah.
At any point. And then, like you mentioned, their defense is good. So this is going to be a tough game for Carolina. And I think that Joe Brady, I hope he's used this time that he's had over these last 10 days, or what will be 10 days, to figure out how to put the ball in the end zone.
Absolutely. Because
the Panthers are going to have to score 35 points to win this game. And even that might not be enough. Yeah. I don't think this bend don't break offense is going to work against Kansas City, because they can go over the top against anybody.
Yeah.
And even though Carolina Panthers, that our corners have outperformed our expectations, they're going to have their hands full.
Oh, they absolutely are going to have their hands full. But I think that's what you have to do. You have to bend and not break on them. I think that is really going to be the key. I know you don't. I think it's just outpaced.
I think they're just going to break. I hope they don't, but this is going to be an education for Joe Brady. Or, I'm sorry, for Phil Snow. This is going to be an education for Phil Snow.
I think that's going to be an education for the whole team. I think that Kansas City is the premier team of the league, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I know in power rankings they may not be one right now, but they have a high-powered offense. They have great coaching. Andy Reid is underrated in my opinion. Yeah. I think everybody talks about great coaches, but they fail to realize what he did with Philadelphia and now what he's doing in Kansas City with Alex Smith and now Patrick Mahomes. It's one of the best offensive minds, coordinator or whatever, just there's been in recent years. Yeah.
Easily, yeah. Yeah, Andy Reid's as good as they get, and we said an education for the whole team. For Matt Rule, I hope he watches Andy Reid carefully, because that would be a good guy to emulate. Yeah. The success is just, you can't argue with it. For the Panthers, we've got McCaffrey coming back, like you said. I think McCaffrey's going to have a big game here. So I'm interested to see how the receivers for the Panthers do, because I think that we sort of need to get back on track with what the Panthers have been doing during our 3-game winning streak, was getting the ball to Robbie Anderson, taking a deep shot occasionally to DJ Moore, and utilizing Curtis Samuel. We haven't really stopped utilizing him, but I'm really curious to see if they can sort of get Teddy back into like a high 200, low 300 yard passing game, and really put points on the board.
Again, this is the third-ranked pass defense. They're only giving up 200 yards per game. I just think,
who have they played though?
I just don't think that's how you attack this team.
I'm actually surprised that you say that they're. I mean, I know the stats say it, but I'm surprised that they give up as many rushing yards as they do, considering how many points they score. It seems opposite, right?
Yeah.
No, it seemed like they'd give up a lot of
passing yards,
passing yards.
Because, yeah, exactly, garbage time.
So, here's who they've played so far: the Texans, very first game of the year, who have not looked good at all. The Chargers with not Justin Herbert,
Tyrod Taylor.
The Ravens, who don't throw the ball a ton. The Patriots, who have looked terrible throwing the ball. The Raiders, who were the only team to beat them so far this year. who threw the ball a lot in that game. The Bills, who aren't known for throwing the ball. The Broncos, who aren't known for throwing the ball. And the Jets, who are not known for throwing the ball. So they haven't exactly faced... I think this might be, outside of the Raiders, and maybe even better than the Raiders, the best passing offense that the Chiefs have faced so far.
Yeah,
Would you disagree with that?
No, you're absolutely right. And, Oakland put up 40 on them by throwing the ball. Derek Carr threw 347 and 3 touchdowns. So that's sort of where I'm coming from. They also, the Raiders ran the ball well too. Like, they had over 150 rushing yards. So it's just going to need to be maybe a well-balanced offense for the Panthers, but they're going to have to score. They're going to have to take deep shots. They're going to have to score. And they're going to have to get 7 instead of 3. You can't settle for 3 2 or 3 times in the red zone like they have been. Actually, they've been doing that, and they've been losing, and there's a reason why.
Yeah.
So
it sounds like you're thinking that we're going to pound the ball, and I'm thinking we're going to have more of an aerial attack. What do you think for Christian McCaffrey's first game back? What kind of production do you see him having?
Well, I think he's going to rush way more than he is going to receive the ball or in receptions.
See, I think he's going to have a good day rushing the ball, but I think where you're really going to see McCaffrey, kind of cement his place in this offense is going to have well over 100 receiving yards in this game. I think he's coming back with a force.
I have over 100 rushing yards. You want to make this
a beer bet of the week?
Beer bet of the week.
Okay, so you've got more rushing yards. I've got more receiving yards for Christian McCaffrey. Okay. All right, let's do that. Sounds good. You want to get into some predictions here?
Yeah, that kind of leads right into my bold prediction. My bold prediction, I have Christian McCaffrey racking up over 175 total yards. I think he's going to probably come close to $130 on the ground.
Wow. So 130 receiving yards.
No.
Interesting.
175 total yards.
Right. $130 in the air, you said. Interesting. Okay. My bold prediction of this game is that Mike Davis is going to have 1 carry, and that's it. He's going to have 1 touch in this game, and that is it.
1 touch, so 1 reception.
I think McCaffrey is back, and McCaffrey is 99%, just like he was before he left. Nice to have you, Mike Davis. I think that's the last we've seen of Mike Davis.
Enjoy your primetime seats on the bench.
Right. Exactly. Hey, I wanted to talk a little bit about this before we get into our score prediction. I put a Twitter poll out there about who, with Christian McCaffrey coming back, who would you like to see more at running back? Mike Davis or Curtis Samuel?
Mm-hmm.
And the results were overwhelmingly Mike Davis. I think I disagree with that. I think I'd much rather see Curtis Samuel as sort of the alternate, not like backing up Christian McCaffrey, but having more carries than Mike Davis, because I think Mike Davis is just a worse version of Christian McCaffrey, and Curtis Samuel just kind of brings a completely different skill set.
See, I can kind of see where they're thinking Mike Davis. He's more of a brute. He can bulldoze people over while Curtis can't. And we don't have any short yardage back, so I think maybe they're thinking Mike Davis is more of a short yardage back. But I would like to see Curtis Samuel just because I think you could throw Christian McCaffrey out into the slot and be a receiver. I think you could have both Curtis Samuel and Christian McCaffrey in the backfield and then split them both out to receiver, or vice versa, having them both out in the receiver and bringing them back in, and you can, Swiss Army knife both of them.
Yeah, which you could do with Mike Davis as well. I mean, he's definitely proven he's a very good receiving back, but it's different with Curtis Samuel. Like he's just a different skill set. And by the way, show me any negative running plays where Curtis Samuel has gone up the middle.
Yeah.
I don't think they exist. Like, he is a very shifty guy. He's not going to bowl anybody over, but he's going to get by them. So it was just a kind of a thought experiment, and I was surprised how overwhelming it was that Mike Davis was the choice. I thought at least it would be close. So, I don't know.
I guess Curtis hasn't had but 13 rushes, so some people just may not see it. Too.
Yeah, well, I want him to have more. All right, let's get to the game predictions. I think we're both sort of on the same page here, but why don't you go ahead and kick off with your prediction?
I hate doing this. I hate these type of predictions. The Chiefs are really, really good. This Panthers team is still rebuilding. Panthers fall to the Chiefs 23-31.
Okay. See, I like that because that's still within a score. And the Panthers don't really lose games by more than 8 points. I mean, other than the Tampa Bay game. I think the Chiefs are as good or better than Tampa Bay is, though. I do unfortunately think that this game is going to get away from Carolina a bit. I do think that the Chiefs will end up scoring 35 points. And the Panthers, I think they're just going to score 21. I think we lose by 2 touchdowns in this game. 35-21, Kansas City. I think it's close going into the fourth quarter, though. But it sort of just gets away. The experience shows at that point.
Yeah. I mean, they're Super Bowl champs for a reason. I mean,
they're not unbeatable.
No.
And Carolina, if obviously we're rooting for Carolina, so we hope that they win. But that'd be realistic here.
Yeah.
Kansas City's a damn good team.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank everyone for listening. If you like our show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. If you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on the show.
We'll be back Monday morning with our recap of the Carolina Panthers at Kansas City Chiefs game. Win or lose, we'll be back and we'll be talking optimistically about the Panthers' future. So until then, everybody stay safe. Keep pounding.